I have it recording. Yay.
It keeps like giving me the microphone and then taking it away.
Let me make sure everyone has the code. There's a bunch of people that were trying to get on. I don't know where they went. Okay. I guess I'll start, and then if anyone comes in, I'll just let them in. Okay. I guess I'll turn your mic off. Let's see. Okay. So I actually got started with oils 3 years ago in April, and hold on one second. There we go. And I remember my mom like coming over, and she would have like little bottles of oil or something, and she'd be like, "Here, smell this," and I'd be like, "Mom, you're crazy. Get your snake oils away from me. Like, I don't want anything to do with that." And then like she'd bring them more and more, and then I started to see my friends had them, and I was like, okay, maybe this is something I need to look into. And I started seeing people post research about the things that were in our home and like the chemicals, and I was like, oh, like for some reason it just never dawned on me like what I was using in my house. It just, I thought everything was safe, and I never even thought twice about it. But I decided to jump in and get a oils starter kit. Like I said, it was 3 years ago, and I kind of just dove in, and I got in the groups that I told you about, where you get in and we have like education, and they're posting like why they use Thieves and all this stuff that's in the cleaners and stuff like that. And so I was like, okay, maybe like this is real. Like I was started to get stuff out of my cabinet, and I had this app called Think Dirty, and I would scan these products, and I was like really intrigued. I was like, are you kidding me? Like this stuff, which now I think it's being taken over by, you know, like big pharma and stuff. They're starting to realize people's eyes are being opened and they're losing money. So I think like they are, they are starting to see that people's eyes are being open to it. And I think they're taking hold of the app. I'm not really sure. But at that time, I scanned the products in my home, like even my kids' lotions and shampoos and stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh, the stuff in this is carcinogenic. Like, why am I putting this stuff on their bodies that could possibly cause cancer, or what, like hormone disrupting stuff? Like my daughter, like in the long run, if she can't have kids, and that's something that I, like if I can do something to stop that now, or just to even help, like I don't have total control of that, but it's more of like I feel like in the world we're living in right now, it's like, oh, I hope I don't get cancer. I hope I don't get sick. Like we're like, for me, I'm sorry, I'm getting so distracted. I live right on the highway, and someone just got pulled over. So I'm like, but anyway, so I feel like that's just the kind of world that like we live in. Like people are starting to think twice. They're like, well, if I get cancer, then I'll just do chemo and I hope I get better. Or I hope I don't have trouble getting pregnant when I want to. And I hope I don't have all these issues. And it's like, I hope, and it's like, we don't have any control, but we actually do. We just don't ever hear about it. We go to the doctor when we're sick and they give us a pill and that's that. But there is a better way, and that's kind of why I got started, was because I had migraines and I wanted to do anything I possibly could to get rid of them. So as soon as I got my kit, like I was like an all or nothing. Like, I'm not going to keep my Windex, throw out my bleach, but keep, like I was like, I want to get rid of all of it. So I trashed all of it. And I just started using the Thieves cleaner for everything, for my windows, for mopping, for my oven cleaner, for like literally everything. I use this one bottle, and it really is nice that I don't have to go buy a bunch of different cleaners. But like in those groups that we have, whenever you buy your starter kit, we have recipes there. Like if you don't know how to use it, or like if you have a certain kind of floor and you're worried about what floor you're cleaning it on, you can just type in there and say, hey, I have this going on, or I have this kind of floor, like what have y'all done? And people will comment in there and be like, well, we use this, and this worked for me, try this. And so lots of different resources there for that. But I just totally threw it all out, and I noticed about 75% of my migraines were gone. Like, I used to have them like 2 or 3 times a week, and now I have them only around my cycle. And those are actually getting better too, because I found some hormone supporting oils that are really good for your hormones and just balancing those out. And so those are actually even getting better. So that was what made me a believer. That's what kind of changed the game for me. And I was like, there really is something to this, because I just switched out my cleaner and started using Peppermint, and I'm already feeling better. So that was the Thieves cleaner. I feel like every single person needs this in their house, because my kids could literally lick the counter after I spray it down, and it's fine. They'll probably actually be better off whenever they before, because Thieves is an immune supporting, it's a blend of things that back when there was a plague long time ago, these thieves were robbing graves and stuff, and in order to get their sentence reduced, the king told them that they were to give up their recipe, and so they did, and they got a lighter sentence for stealing all the stuff. So that's how that came about. It's like a blend of cinnamon, clove, lemon, lots of different things, but that's what made me a believer. And that's why I started switching out. Like, if I was like, okay, if those few things I was cleaning my house with, or actually it's like a lot, I mean, I had a cleaner for everything, a whole tub full of cleaners. If that alone can like change how I feel and I'm feeling better, then what can adding oils in do? So I started just researching. I still don't know it all. There's like a huge book full of information, because I just don't know it all. And that's a story I'm going to tell right now. Is I went to a conference. I think it was January, February. I went to a conference, and this lady told a story, and I have her story here because it just blew my mind. I even looked it up, what she was talking about in this book, and it just blew my mind. So she was saying how in the past decade we've seen a 10% increase in the number of Americans taking one drug medication. There's been a 20% increase in the number of people taking 2 drug medications, and then there's been a 70% increase of people taking 5 or more drug medications. So that's just, it's crazy. We've never been more medicated. I hope you can't hear that. I wonder if I mute it. Oh, someone's joining. Okay, sorry, Heather. I was getting passionate. So she was just saying we've never been more medicated than we are today. We're not living longer. We're actually just dying slower, and we have the tools to help us. We're just everyone's sick and tired of being sick and tired, and Young Living was that change for me, especially with my migraines. Like, I've lived with those my entire life. And so it just totally stood up to me. Hey, sorry.
No, you're good.
What'd you say?
I said, no, you're good. Okay. I'm late.
Oh, it's okay. All right. I'm just telling the story. I actually sent it to you in a voice message, but It was just so awesome that I had to add it to my class. So her story was, hold on, there we go. Her daughter had something called tachycardia. Okay, sorry, I couldn't hear. Tachycardia, and it says tachycardia is a form of a heart arrhythmia in which the heart suddenly increases, the heart rate increases to 160 beats per minute or faster. She said her daughter had a heartbeat of 250 to 260 beats. Like they couldn't even count their heartbeats. So they told her that she would need to be on a beta blocker, but that didn't work for her. They tried it and didn't work. She had an attack like every week. She'd have to be rushed to the hospital. They'd have to inject medication straight into her heart. Her 2-year-old was taking like 6 to 8 naps per day because she was just so medicated. She was just, and at that point she said she was just angry because she said these people that had degrees that were supposed to be able to help me, they couldn't help me. They didn't know like how to help her, and they were not giving her the answers that she wanted. So at that point she had a friend that she just said, have oils, will travel. And I thought that was really funny, but she said that her friend had oils and she didn't know what that meant. She had never even heard of it, but she was so desperate that she said yes. And so she started using it, and she said she started noticing a difference in herself, in the fact that she wasn't as ragey. So, you know, like whenever you're taking care of someone that's really sick and you have something like that going on, it can just change your emotions. Your marriage can start to crumble, like stuff like that. And so she wasn't as angry as her husband. She had less stress, stuff like that. And so that's kind of what got her thinking, oh, wow, there's something to this. And so the doctors kept saying, you know what, she's going to suffer from this forever. You have 2 options. Like, this is never going to go away. She can have a risky, like this certain heart surgery, but it's a risky heart surgery. Or you can, I forgot the medication, what it was called, but you can take this medication. She'll have to be on it forever. And she started researching the medication, and she said it was like a black label medication, which had like all these side effects, like anxiety and tumors and throwing up and all this stuff. And it basically said it could cause death because it was a black label medication. So she was like, no, absolutely not. She started looking into it, and she was more and more uncomfortable with the fact that her daughter would have to be on this medication. So she bought this desk reference, and it was after that thing in January that I told you where I heard her speak. She basically was like, because there's this one and then there's a smaller one for $25, and it's still pretty thick. But she said, you will go home and you will get this one right away. And we pretty much were like, yes, ma'am, whatever you say. But she was just like, get that one, because she said she looked it up, and it's tachycardia. It's right here. You probably can't see it, but she said she looked in there to see what to do. And so the first oil on there, hold on. I actually have it right here. She said the first oil on there was ylang-ylang for her heart. And so she said she went through like 150 drops of this because she was desperate, and she applied this every single day. And then she started to notice that her daughter's heart rate was down in the low 100s. And so she was like, this is amazing. So then she started researching more and more. Like once her daughter's heart rate got down, she started researching more and more what a healthy heart needs. And it was like potassium, antioxidants, trace minerals, those kind of things. And that's what's in Ningxia Red. I forgot to grab it, but that's the Ningxia Red drink that we drink every day. And so she went through some talking more, but she said she gave her daughter 4 to 6 ounces a day. Normally I just give my kid like 1 or 2 ounces, but her daughter didn't have a normal healthy heart. That's with a normal healthy heart, but her daughter didn't have that. So she gave her 4 to 6 ounces, and she said she is now free of the tachycardia completely, and she doesn't have to be on any medications. So that was just an amazing story to me. That, like, I know a lot of people think oils are just like for scent and for smell, but whenever they're actually pure and they're from the plant, and not like like at Walmart or whatever, if you go buy an oil, it's going to have about 3% of actual oil in it. And then they can fill it with whatever else they want. And they can label it pure by FDA standards, which is really ridiculous, honestly. But a lot of people think that they're doing their family good when they go get oils from the store. And it's not real oil. So they don't notice the difference. I remember Heather just this morning, I don't know if it was yesterday or this morning, she said in our group, she said something like, what was it? You said something like you didn't notice a difference. She bought oils from her health food store and she didn't notice a difference at all.
Yeah, we actually tried a couple of different brands of oils before you introduced me to Young Living, and I was like, what's the big deal? Like, never saw a difference. Now having those oils and having Young Living oils, like the smell difference, even like when you put it on your skin, the way it feels on your skin, everything's night and day. So it was kind of eye-opening.
Yeah, that's crazy. I've always thought, like, whenever I do vendor events and stuff, like, people just don't know. And so I thought about maybe getting like an oil like lavender from the store and then like lavender from Young Living and putting labels on them and getting the difference in smell, because I've never actually tried other oils, but I've heard there's a really big difference. And that's why maybe a lot of people don't like lavender, is because they don't really get the real smell of lavender. Okay. So yeah, just our generation in general is there's people with more allergies and dysfunctions, and we're having trouble getting pregnant. Like just so much, like me and my migraines. People weren't always allergic to peanuts. We didn't always have asthma. Our parents weren't always on like 1,000 medications. So it just hasn't always been like this, and it's a problem. And I just don't think people are aware that there's something else that they can do. I had a stat that said every day 43 children are diagnosed with cancer and 12% don't survive. Average age of child diagnosed is 6. And that like blew my mind. And that was like, that got my heart. Like, I need to have frankincense on my kid's spine every single day. Like, people have cured cancer in their brain from just using frankincense. So I was like, there has to be a better way. Like, I have to have control of this. And I know that we can't completely control it, but like I said, if there are things that I can do to help my kids, then I'm going to do that. So Young Living is a wellness company that's been around for over 25 years. I went to the 25-year convention this past year, and it was awesome. I went to the lavender fields and I got to see everything distilled. It was just really incredible. Their seed to seal process is absolutely amazing. So they have control of the entire process from the time that the seed goes in the ground until it's bottled. I think it's tested over like, it's insane. I think it's tested, like, each batch of oil is tested like 20 times or something crazy. But they don't use farmland that has been touched by human hands in at least 50 years. They don't use pesticides. It's really interesting. They use these goats that eat the weeds around the plant, but they don't actually eat the plant itself. And then they use like leftover oil water to get the to get the weeds. And then they also hand pick. So that's why whenever you see oils at the store or something on Amazon, it's like, you get this big bundle for like $10. Well, like, what are they doing to weed, and like, what do their farms even look like? Can you visit their farms? It costs Young Living so much money to weed because they don't use pesticides, but pesticides are cheaper, and so that's what other companies use. Young Living's been the premier wellness company since anyone started caring about wellness, like forever ago. And whenever you get started, this is the starter kit. This is the oils one. Like, I've showed you, like, I think you want to get the Thieves one, right? Yeah. I have like 3 people that want to get the Thieves starter kit, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. It's coming back. And they have all of it in stock. They have a kit that's kind of like this, but it's like a basic kit, and it has like Stress Away, and it comes with the Thieves Kit Stress Away oil in it, and the hand sanitizer and stuff like that. So just those little samples. And I think they ran out of that actually. So that's where they stopped the Ningxia and the Thieves Kit. But I have 2 people wanting Thieves and then 1 person wanting Ningxia. So I'm like, oh no, I'm so sorry. But it's coming back soon. But this is the oil starter kit. And you really only start with 1 starter kit. But like if I'm low on like 6 or so of these oils or something, like these are the oils that we use the most. If I run out, I'm like, okay, it makes more sense to go into my virtual office and just buy another starter kit, because then I'll get another diffuser too. So you can go in and place a quick order to get another starter kit because it is such a good deal. It's like $400 worth of stuff for $165. But these are like the starting point. They have over like 300 oils, but this is the starting point because these are like the most popular versatile oils. Peppermint, I'll just go over a few uses that we use them for. Like in this book, you can go to where it talks about peppermint, and there's just like a slew of things. So it's not where like one oil does one specific thing. They do so many things. You can put them on different parts of your body to do different things. And every person, they work for every person differently because we're all different. So peppermint, I put this straight on my temples and straight on my head, straight on my neck whenever I'm having like tension or something, or like it is that time of month and I'm having a migraine. But a lot of people, this is like too pepperminty. Like this is straight peppermint. There's no dilution at all in these oils. So some people can't handle it because it is just too strong. But for me, it's like an ice pack. Like if I have a headache or something, I'll just put it on. I'll get in a dark room, and it feels like I'm laying with an ice pack. It's also really good in brownies. These oils have a white label. I feel like don't go putting 3 drops because they like I said, you'll be like, whoa, peppermint. But a funny story about, was it lemon? You can put lemon in your water because these are vitality oils and able to be ingested. So I think I had like a cup, like my Yeti, and I put like 5 or 6 drops, and I went to take a drink, and I was like way overpowered. It was like right when I got my kit, and I was so excited, and I like dumped some in. Oh no. Like you can put 2 drops, like even one drop in your water, dump half of it out, and then refill it, and it still is very lemony. So it's like 5 was way too much. So these are vitality oils. They're white label, which means they can be ingested. But let me see. Thieves is able to be ingested, but there is a Thieves vitality. So this Thieves and this Thieves are the exact same oil. There's nothing different about the oil that's inside. They're the exact same, but the FDA just requires us to label them differently so people can look at the bottle easily and know that it's ingestible. So if you see one with a white label, you just automatically know it's safe to ingest. So there's peppermint and lemon. Peppermint is also good for digestive issues. I know a lot of people when their kids have, like they can't go to the bathroom, they're constipated, they put actually like 1 or 2 drops of peppermint in the toilet, and then they have them sit there, and it just gets things moving a lot quicker. It also, you can rub it on your belly button or your stomach to help with digestive issues. Digize is a digestive one too, and it kind of works. They're not the same at all, but this is also a digestive oil. So in that sense, whenever you're having a tummy ache or you're having acid reflux or something like that, like I'll use either of those for that. But Digize is specifically a digestive oil. Lemon, I use in my water. It's a natural like detoxer. So the founder of Young Living, I just learned this the other day. Oh yeah, mice. I saw someone post about that. I really could have used that at the deer lease the other day. Oh my gosh, I ended up sleeping in the truck. But lemon, I don't remember what I was saying. Oh yeah, natural detoxer. The founder of Young Living, he actually got hit with a tree when he was in a logging accident when he was younger, and it just about paralyzed him. I think like he couldn't move, and he was just like depressed. He was like he he wanted to kill himself basically. So he was trying to do that. And in the process, he just thought, you know, I'm going to fast. I'm not going to eat anything. I'm going to fast. And that's how it's going to happen. Which, I mean, I don't know. Anyway, he was drinking only lemon, not lemon oil, but he was drinking just water and lemon, and he was not able to move his legs at all. And then after drinking water and lemon for a while, he noticed that his toes started to like move. And so he thought like there's something to this, and that's what got his wheels turning. That's what got him to start like looking into what was in the plants. So now I'm like, well, if I'm trying to fast, I'm going to use lemon water because it's so good for our bodies. It's a natural detoxer and it helps our bodies so much. The next one is Thieves, and that is something that I put on my kids every single day before school. It keeps viruses away. It keeps like all the things, like if there's a sickness going around. I don't feel like my kids have gotten near as sick when we started using Thieves than they did before. If they do get sick, it's very, very minimal. This year they weren't sick at all, but they had like cold. Like I had like a little cold or something, but not near as sick as other kids. So especially during flu season, we were like putting this in the diffuser every single day. We are putting it on their spine and their feet and just applying it. Like I have rollers that I keep in the car and I'm just handing it to them because we're always running late to school, always. But I'm just like throwing the oils like here, and they'll just put them on their neck, in their chest and their arms. I'm just like, roll it wherever, like just get oils on your body. And the next one is Citrus Fresh. This one's like really good for when things are stinky. Like if like your trash can stinks or something, it's good to have like a little cotton round, and you can just drop some on there and drop it in your trash can. You can make a spray for your shoes. It's also really good in water too. It's a vitality oil. Raven. Raven is a respiratory oil. So whenever you're having trouble breathing, like a eucalyptus type, that's what's in Raven is eucalyptus and some other things. Let me see. So it's a blend, which means it's a combination of a bunch of different oils. So Raven has wintergreen, peppermint, lemon, camphor. So it smells like that when you need that opening up. What's that, like Vicks? It kind of smells similar to that in a way. But I'll put this in the diffuser with my kids. For my kids, if they're like congested or something, I'll put it in their room and close the door for about 30 minutes before they go to bed. And that way it's in there, it's not coming out, and they can just breathe it in. Raven and like lemon, or Raven and Thieves or something, I'll put in their diffuser so they can start to open up. And then I'll also get like coconut oil. I get fractionated coconut oil, which I don't know why I did. Oh, it's way over there. The fractionated coconut oil is basically, which you can do with regular coconut oil too at the store, the kind that just stays as a solid. You can make like a cream or rub, put it in a little jar, and then drop some Raven in there, and then you can rub that on your chest to help you open up. You can put it right here, and it just helps you to breathe, but it also has therapeutic benefits. It's actually working in your body to help those things. The next one is Valor. And like I said, I'm just like doing a basic rundown because there's so much. But if I'm having an issue and I don't really know what to use, or I want to know the best thing, then I'll look in this book, or there's an app on my phone that I can just like look up like congestion, and it'll give me these list of oils that can help with congestion. So that's really helpful. Valor is like courage in a bottle. It whenever Tylee's having like she gets really anxious, and she gets really fearful and worried. She's a big worrier. If we mention anything about, like, I think I mentioned something like, Tylee, you need to get these clothes out of the middle of your doorway because, like, what if there's a fire and I need to come in here and get you? Like, I can't get to you if there's clothes everywhere. And just the thought of that freaks her out. Like, she'll start crying. Like, I have to really watch my words around her because she's like, oh my gosh, what if there's a fire? And like, she'll start sobbing, and it just like takes over her, and she's almost having an anxiety attack. So that's happened a couple times. and I'll go get Valor and I'll just put some coconut oil with it, or I have a Valor roller, just to calm her down. There's a really amazing video I saw of a foot doctor not long ago, who had a patient whose foot, I think he had a stroke or something, and every time he touched his foot, it would like flex up, like it would just stay like that. And so he said, how long has this been going on? And he's like, forever, like it's always happened. And so he said, do you mind if I try something? And so he went and got Valor, and he just put it on the back of his neck and had him rub it on. And he said he came back like 10 minutes later and he touched his foot and it just like was relaxed. And that blew my mind. Like even though I've been using oils for 3 years, it blew my mind that it had that powerful effect. And Valor was actually used by the Roman soldiers. Not this bottle obviously, but like this recipe was used by soldiers before they went into battle, to help them be courageous and brave and whatever. But this also is something that they call chiropractor in a bottle, which it helps just align your body. So before I go to the chiropractor, I'll put this on, and it just helps him to do his job better. It kind of relaxes me and stuff like that. So I really love Valor. Valor and frankincense I actually use. I have this little oil necklace, and it has a roller on it, and that's my favorite blend. I replaced all my perfumes. I threw those out too, because anything with the word, like if you have a shampoo or a lotion or anything, if you read the labels, if it says fragrance on it, just the word fragrance, that is like an umbrella term of like 1,600 chemicals that Europe had banned, but the US, they were like grandfathered in. So they made this, they couldn't use certain chemicals anymore, but these other like 1,600 chemicals were grandfathered in, and they're able to be under the umbrella term of fragrance. So you really don't know what you're getting when it just says fragrance. It could be thousands and thousands of things. So that scared me. I didn't like not knowing what was going on my body. Our skin is our largest organ, and it absorbs things, and everything that we put on our skin can be found in every organ of our body within like 20 seconds. So I didn't want to keep spraying perfume, no matter how much I loved it, if it was going to cause harm down the road. So I switched to Valor and frankincense. There's also an oil called Joy that I love as perfume. This ylang ylang is really floral. I like floral stuff. I know not everyone likes floral. There's like woodsy type oils for men. They are like Northern Lights black spruce, is actually from the Northern Lights area in Canada. Anyway, I'll move on. So we got rid of our perfumes and stuff. So now we just use oils for that too. Panaway is for any kind of pain. Panaway. Like if you're having muscle tension, if your husband's like, Jason will come home from working on the tractor and he's just like talking about how bad his back hurts. So I'll just put a roller top right on this bottle. They have one that comes in your starter kit. And you can just pop it right on, or you can make rollers. They have, if you look up roller bottles on Amazon, you can get like a 6, 12, 24 pack of rollers, and then you get fractionated coconut oil, and you fill up the bottle basically like this. You take this little roller off, pop it off, and you can fill it with, like for my husband's allergy roller, I put 10 drops of lemon, 10 drops of lavender, and 10 drops of peppermint. And then you fill the rest up with fractionated coconut oil, and that kind of coconut oil doesn't harden. And then you can just roll it on, and it's a good way to make your oils last longer. So like if I just use Thieves from the bottle every single time, and I use it on my kids every single time, one, it's going to be like, it's a spicy oil. There's clove in here, so it's going to feel a little bit hot, and they don't really appreciate that. So I put it in here, and it tones it down a little bit, but it still has the same, it still works just as good. Okay, I don't have them in there. Okay. So yeah, I was saying the lavender, lemon, peppermint, that is excellent for allergies. Jason's really been struggling, so he has a roller by his bedside and he just rolls it on every morning, every night. And then today he was really struggling, so I had like clear veggie capsules. Everything's over there. There, it just looks like a pill, but it's just clear and you can open it and there's nothing in it, and you just drop your oil drops in there. And I put lemon, lavender, and peppermint in there, and I had him swallow it. And that's what he did. And so today I gave him a lot because he was really struggling. So there's different ways you can take oils internally, you can put them on your body, and you can obviously diffuse. So pan away, I either make a roller or I'll just put a roller top rod on it, whatever you want. Lavender is one of the most common oils. It's actually an adaptogenic oil, which means it adapts to what your body needs. A really good story I have with that is, it's been about 2 years ago now. I sold my pastor's wife a bottle of lavender. She just wanted lavender, so I got her some lavender. And then a little bit later, me and my husband went to like a leadership retreat for church, and my kids stayed with our pastor and his wife. And so they went to a parade or something while we were gone, and she texted me and she said, "Hey, Tylee, she's not able to move. She said her hip hurts. She can't walk." And I thought that was really weird because Tylee doesn't have any troubles. Like, that's really strange for her. And so she said, "I have Tylenol. Do you want me to just give her some Tylenol?" And I said, "No, we're really trying to try other things first. Like, we're not against medicine, but if this works first, I'd rather do that than fill up her body with medicine." So I said, "I know you have lavender. Just put some of that on her, just straight lavender, see what happens, see how she feels. If we need to do Tylenol, we can, but let's try this first." And she texted me, I'm not kidding you, 20 minutes later, and she said, "She's good. She feels great again." And so I was like, yes, it was awesome. So that it adapted to what her body needed at the time. Some people do really well with lavender for sleep, and some people say lavender doesn't do well with them for sleep. So if lavender doesn't work, like, I'll put lavender and frankincense together. But if that's not working for you, we'll try something else. Valor is really good for sleep. It's not just a courageous oil. It's good for sleep also. I forgot. This is just some of the oils. Those are 10. But when you open up the back, you'll get these Ningxia red packets, and then you'll also get 2 extra oils. And Stress Away smells like a vacation in a bottle, but it is also good for sleep. Peace and Calming is excellent for sleep. So there's just so many different combinations that you can try if something's not working for you. So what else? And lavender is a vitality oil also. It's just not in the kit that way. Frankincense is one of the ones I got in my kit, and I didn't use it at first because I had no idea how to, but then I started researching and seeing the things that people were posting about how frankincense was healing them from all these crazy things, and just the effect. Like, if you Google the benefits of frankincense oil, it will blow your mind. And so I was like, I have to get this oil on my kids every single day just because of the benefits. Like, even if I'm not like seeing them per se, it's really helping their bodies. So frankincense is good, and I learned I didn't like the way it smelled at first, but I love it now, especially with Valor. And something that's interesting is if you don't like the way an oil smells, that means your body needs it emotionally. And if you do like the way an oil smells, it means you need it physically. So it's really cool how they work with your body. The other 2 oils were Stress Away. Stress Away actually has vanilla in it. It smells like a vacation in a bottle. It's like lime, vanilla, copaiba, but it's heavenly. It is really weird how it's hard to explain how oils work whenever you smell them and you just feel a sense of calmness come over you. It's really hard to explain that, but Stress Away does that for me. And then Peace and Calming, what made me a believer with Peace and Calming was I had heard so much about people combining it with lavender for their kids at bedtime. And so Weston, he doesn't really do much of it anymore, but whenever he was 3 and 4 and I would tell him to go to bed, he didn't want to go to bed, and he would throw a fit, and he was in that tired phase where he was like fighting it and screaming and doing everything he could not to go to bed. So he'd be like kicking his feet up and just screaming at the top of his lungs. And so I was like, I have these oils. Why am I not using them? So I got Peace and Calming and Lavender, and I put it in the diffuser. I even recorded. I have a video of this whole process. Like, if you can get through my kid screaming for 2 minutes, it's really funny. You just skip through. But he was screaming, and I was like, So I went and put it in his diffuser, and then I'm like walking out, and he's screaming, but he's like screaming less and less. At about the 2 minute, 3 minute mark, he's starting to scream less and less, and then eventually he's just stopped. And so it's really, it worked several times for me that way. And so eventually I was like, I need to record this because this is mind blowing. But that's Peace and Calming. It's also Peace and Calming for moms, for all the things. So like I said, they have over 300 oils, but those are the starter kit oils. And whenever you grab your starter kit, you can actually make it your first Essential Rewards order, which is the monthly box that I get every month. It's not product that's coming into my house for me to go sell. Like, I don't keep stock of anything. But I order on Essential Rewards because I get 25% back of anything I spend. So if I spend $100, they give me $25 back in my account to spend on other products. At months 3, 6, 9, and 12, they sent me a free oil. They just threw it in and said, thank you for being on Essential Rewards. Something else, Heather. I'm going blank here. Points back, free oils. Oh, and then at like tiers, 100 and 190, and then like there's different tiers. They'll send you another like free, like 1 month they have, like, if you spent $200, you got a free bottle of Thieves or something. And that's never required. Like, you don't ever have to do Essential Rewards. But it is the best way to order because you're getting so much free product back. And so you can actually have whenever you buy your starter kit, you can click yes that you want it to be your first Essential Rewards order, and you'll automatically start getting points back into your account right after you get your starter kit, since you used it as your first one. And the minimum is like $50. So if you want to do $100 1 month, if you need like a whole bunch of stuff, like if you need laundry soap or hand soap or whatever, or you want to try the kids shampoo, you can go up to however much you need, but the only thing that's required is $50. So if you need to do $50 1 month, you can. If you need to do $100 1 month, you can, and you'll still get those points back based off of the 50. But that's the best way to reorder, in my opinion, because even though you can go back and you can place a quick order, which is not Essential Rewards, you're not getting points back there. So that's that. So I highly recommend Essential Rewards. And I'm trying to think what else. And yeah, so I think you're still wanting to do the Thieves Kit. So I think that's going to be back May 6th, I think. But yeah, that comes with all the Thieves products. I think it comes with 2 bottles of cleaner, which will last you forever. I think it comes with some hand soap, toothpaste, mouthwash. Can't think what else. But that's really awesome too. I originally, whenever I got my starter kit, I got the oils one, and then I started using Essential Rewards I started slowly doing the soaps and stuff. So I know a lot of people, they're like, they hear this information and they are really overwhelmed. Like, I need to go get rid of everything in my house, but that's just not, that's not good for everyone. Actually anyone, like, I don't recommend it because that's stressful. What we did was we started using oils and Thieves cleaner. Like, I just immediately threw out my cleaners and I did this. And then like the next month I got shampoo, and then the next month I got hand soap. So I highly recommend baby steps because it's just better that way. Less stressful and all those kinds of things. So this, if you get the starter kit, the oil starter kit, this is the diffuser. You can turn it has an on switch. So the first switch is high. The first one is low when you click it again. And then when you click it a third time, it's intermittent. So it'll go on for 30 seconds and off for 30 seconds. And then there's also a color button. That's why Tylee wanted this diffuser. Because you can change the light settings. I love this one. This is my favorite because I don't know if you can tell, but it like flickers like a candle. We got rid of our candles because we started learning more and realizing that whenever you're burning a candle, you're actually doing the same damage to your lungs as smoking a cigarette. So I'm like, why do I have these candles in my house if they're hurting our lungs? So I really like the candlelit flicker because I love candles and I love like the flicker of it, but I want to do it in a way that's going to benefit our bodies too. And so the next one is red and orange, yellow, green, blue, darker blue, purple, and then you can also turn it off. That's what I do at night. I don't like light on in my room, so I just have it off. But that's the diffuser. There is, I think, 3 other diffusers, but this one and then the Dewdrop come with the premium starter kit. They're included for the same price. But yeah, I guess that's all. I mean, I could honestly go on and on forever, but if you have questions, I will try to answer them. Okay, I'm going to read the chat now. Sorry. Oh, Heather said Nolan's Singular was recently black labeled. Oh gosh. Oh, I love Valor. Yeah, I'm at the chiropractor all the time, so I'm always using Valor. Okay, so yeah, you said you were thinking about getting an oil kit too. I'll try to unmute. I don't know if you can unmute yourself. I can. Oh, there you go.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I am. It's kind of going to depend on the budget as we go. Things are kind of weird with all the COVID and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I want to do the Thieves to begin with, just because there's so many things in there that I think I will use more of. I think,
Yeah,
to start. And so
you can definitely ditch all the cleaners and stuff and just have that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
that
was my.
Yeah, that's the number one thing. Like if people are like, what else do I get with my kit? I'm like, Thieves. Get your Thieves, because you are getting so many chemicals out whenever you switch to it, and you can literally do everything with it. So that's really important. Like, yes, like the oils do so much good for our bodies and they're just so excellent. But at the same time, if you're getting those chemicals out of your house and not bringing them in, that's really good too. So that's good.
Yeah, and then I took some notes because there's a lot of things that I want to look at, but I just because of my allergies and my asthma, and then my headaches have, as I've gotten older, gotten worse. I am pretty curious about some of these things talked about.
Yeah. So yeah, allergies. My husband suffers with them, and like for some reason right now it's gotten worse. But normally he takes his little capsules, and he hasn't had to take Zyrtec nearly like he did before. Like every once in a while he'll have to do it, but like we don't just ditch medicine completely. We still use it when we need it. But he, like I said, I always try to tell him, like, use this first. If we need to, you can. But it usually kicks it out pretty well. You said allergies and what'd you say, asthma?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So whenever I dived in, I was just learning more about all the things, and asthma is a really big one in the group where people ask about it and they give advice on it. And I don't personally have asthma or anything, but I know a lot of people in the group have had success with it. I don't really know specifically what they use, but there is like a whole section on it, I'm sure, over here.
Hey, don't forget my little baby.
Yeah. Heather has experience with it. I don't, but Heather.
Yeah, that's kind of what started us on our Young Living journey. Nolan was in the hospital like 3 to 4 times a year, sometimes more, on oxygen. I mean, it was ridiculous. I felt like he was a 70-year-old man, not a 3-year-old boy. It was on Claritin, Singular, Fluoxetine, a daily inhaler, rest nebulizer treatments. And they were telling us things like, hey, he's got scar tissue on his lungs because we've had to give him so much steroids. Hey, his growth chart is not climbing like it should, probably because of all the steroids. And I
Yeah.
was just like, okay, so the steroids are terrible for him. So what do we do? And they were like, well, it's either that or he dies. I mean, he's got to have them. So that's whenever Miranda reached out and sent me the respiratory care roller that she made and the Allergies. And I've been using them consistently on him for 5 weeks now. And first we took him off Singular because it was, black label. Then I took him off the nasal spray. Then I took him off Claritin. So now he hasn't had a nebulizer treatment since February at his last hospitalization. And he hasn't taken any medication other than his daily inhaler. I haven't even used his rescue inhaler since January. So, and that's the only thing we've changed is oils and cleaning products. So I'm like, okay, something's got to be working. So yeah, when you were saying asthma, I was like, oh yeah.
It makes sense because when I clean, I feel sick afterwards. My chest gets tight and I have a hard time breathing. And so, it makes sense to cut that out and that could help, but you've got to have an alternative, obviously. So, that's basically where my interest came in and with the Thieves cleaning stuff.
Yeah, I have the hand sanitizer for you. I'll give you some Thieves too. I use a glass spray bottle just because I'll put like drops of lemon in it. And whenever you use oils, you don't want to use them in plastic because they can pull, especially like lemon, it's a natural detoxer. So if it can detox your body, it can definitely detox plastic and put that plastic into your cup, and you don't want to have that, you don't want to be ingesting that. So you use either stainless steel or glass. And so that's why I use a glass spray bottle to clean with. But I think a lot of people too, if they like, because this is, it's a high grade plastic, but it is plastic. And so I think a lot of people just, if they need one, they go get one at Walmart real fast and they just do that. But you can do that. If you don't have a glass spray bottle right now, whenever you're able to meet, I can give you some of that, because just this one cap can make, like, my spray bottle I think is this big, and that's all you
so it's a concentrate.
It's very, very concentrated.
Okay.
That's why whenever I use it for like mopping or something, I'll put 2 capfuls and some vinegar in the sink to mop with, or when there's stains on the floor, I'll either use that spray or I'll use this, like, Jason has really, really bad oil, like pants from working on his tractor and stuff like that. And I'll spray the concentrate right on, but a lot of the, like most of the time I don't. Like if it's something like that, I do. But in my toilets, I'll mix a little baking soda with a cap of this, and I'll make like a paste, and I'll just scrub that on there. And I do the same thing for my oven and my sink and my bathtub. I'll let it sit for a little bit, and then I'll just scrub it. And we use it for our mirrors, just that same spray I use for my kitchen. I'll use it on my mirrors and my windows and stuff like that. So it's a concentrate, and you can use it for pretty much everything. I've even mixed some of this with some Thieves dish soap for my hair. Like you can use it in your hair. So it's really, really awesome. But yeah, especially with your asthma and stuff and getting the cleaners out, I bet that is going to really be a game changer for you. So yeah, Thieves Kit is definitely the way to go right now.
And I've just, big pharma, the whole thing has just got me so, just questioning everything, because they control so many things. So, when she was saying that her son was going to the hospital and they were telling her that this is all they can do, well, yeah, that because they're controlled by pharmaceutical companies. They're controlled by, nobody is doing what's actually right people anymore, and so that's, I don't know, maybe I'm a conspiracy theorist, but
I am too. It's okay. But yeah, like those videos of doctors saying, like, these are the things that actually are working. And like when people are taking things that Trump say, like, completely opposite, like he's talking about the stuff that's working, like vitamin C and stuff like that. So they're going to shut that down as fast as they can and take those videos off YouTube, because they're not making money off of it. So,
well, and people have gotten so so far away from reality. You know, history always repeats itself. So
Yeah.
I have been reading a lot about like typhoid and the Spanish flu and all these things that happened, you know, in the past, because at that point, you know, in those times in history, it wasn't the way it is now.
Yeah.
And so those are the kind of remedies that we need to be looking at.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, my plan was to come by sometime this weekend. Will you be around anytime tomorrow?
Yeah, we should be here.
Okay, I'll message you before I come, but that was my plan, was to come by tomorrow.
Okay, and I'll get you some thieves to just get you started while we wait for this to come back. Yeah.
Okay, well, I have to go back to work, but I enjoyed it, and I'm going to
so
do
glad
some research.
Yeah, I'm glad you were able to come. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.